guys? So today I thought I would do another anxiety chat. Why? Because I'm anxious. I'm just gonna be talking about like why I'm anxious, my updated tips and tricks for anxiety, and just like all that fun stuff. So I just started my last semester of college and then I get a degree. And I thought it was going to be easy because I'm taking like easier classes. Like I only have one class that's like an essay class where I'm going to have to write an essay. Like last semester I had like 3 essay classes and I was just like writing essays all semester long and it sucked. But this is why I'm anxious over this semester. First of all, I'm just always anxious because I have anxiety. Hello. But my planner. This was a tip in one of my other videos. Use a planner. All my classes seem to start and end on different days, which makes it feel like I'm just constantly doing schoolwork and I constantly have stuff due. And that's why I'm anxious. Sorry, I'm also like under the weather, or I have really bad allergies, or just, I don't know. So I'm a little bit sick sounding. So last semester, most of my classes ended like on the weekend, so I would get everything done for the weekend, and then I would be like, I could take off like Monday and Tuesday because those were like my weekend days. But this semester, my classes start and end on like different days every week, so it feels like I'm just constantly doing stuff and having stuff due, and I feel like I never have a break, and it's only like the second week of my semester, and I'm already just like, ah! Like I can't do this. So tips and tricks for school or college anxiety. This is what I have come up with. Keep a planner. I said this in one of my other videos, but a planner will make it so that you know exactly what's due. This is how I write down stuff in my planner. This is not up to date because today's Thursday, and this is written for Wednesday, but whatever, this is just an example. So what I do is I write down everything that I have to do when I find out that I have something that is going to be due. And I write down next to it the date that it's due. Or if it's due, like some of my classes are like, oh, it's due on this day before noon. If it's due on a day before noon, then I'll put the due date the day before because I know I'm not going to want to do anything before noon. So I make sure I write everything down and I write all the due dates so that I make sure to like keep up on my stuff and not let anything like sneak up on me, so I'm not just like, oh my gosh, I have like a test due tomorrow and I don't know anything. Like I make sure to keep my planner up to date and organized with all the due dates so I know what's due, so I can like make sure I got that all covered. And I have always been a procrastinator, like my whole life. I was that person where if the teacher was like, you have 2 weeks to do this project, don't save it all for the last night because it's not possible to do it. I would prove that it's possible to do it the night before. I was that person. So I have come a long way from my procrastinator self, and I try to always do everything at least the day before it's due, in case I have like something that comes up, or I have like a computer issue or a Wi-Fi issue because I do college online. So you don't want to be like leaving stuff till the last second and then like the power goes out or your Wi-Fi goes out or your computer breaks and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do a test, and like, you know. So I always try to do everything the day before. This might not be possible in like real life, like if you're like actually in class. This might only apply like for like online college people, but that's just what I do to keep myself safe. So that's basically it for school. Just stay on top of your stuff, make sure you have everything organized. That's what I do for school. So another thing that I do, I take magnesium. So magnesium, my mom said this in one of my Health Week videos, it's like nature's calm something. I don't know. I forget what she said.
The supplement magnesium is excellent for anxiety. If any of you have anxiety and you've not tried magnesium, a magnesium supplement is fantastic. And if you look it up, you will actually find magnesium called Nature's Chill Pill. And there are studies that show that in some people it has just as good of an effect as a prescription anxiety medication.
I bought these because we all know by now I don't take pills. So I got Calm gummies, and these are anti-stress gummies, a relaxing magnesium supplement in raspberry lemon flavor. They're not like delicious, but they're better than like yucky, disgusting stuff. And for these specific ones, you take 1 to 4 a day. I take 2 just because these cost like 20 bucks, and I didn't feel like just eating them all like really quick, like 4 a day. So I take 2 a day because like whatever, that's like half good enough. And they won't come out. So this is what they look like. They kind of look like candy. They're not. They're magnesium. They don't really taste that good. They're just like these little like gumdroppy type things. And they have like sugar on the outside. They're not like healthy. They have sugar in them, on them. And then I eat them. And I can't personally say, oh, I've noticed a significant difference because I'm on anxiety medication. So I can't really tell if this does a lot for me or if it's just my medication. But my mom says it really helps her. So I just take this because I'm like, well, it can't hurt. So, okay. So another thing. Now, this has been a personal struggle of mine for years. I used to be an early riser. I was always the kid who was at a sleepover and would wake up first, go to bed first. Like, I was that person. But as I've gotten older, I am now the person that sleeps until like 2 p.m., goes to bed at like 4 in the morning. This is not good, okay? If you want to be less anxious, I have found that if you go to bed early and you get up like early at a normal time, then it feels like you have so many hours in the day. When I fixed my sleep schedule, like the first few days, I was like, there's too many hours in the day. I don't know what to do with them all. Because like, when I go to bed late, I feel like I just sit in bed and I don't do anything. Because I'm like, oh, I might go to sleep. Like, but like, no, I would just like be on my laptop for hours, watching YouTube, writing fan fiction, doing like random stuff. So, it's important to keep a sleep schedule and to have one where you're not just like wasting the hours at night. Like, for some of you, like I know you might not want to go to bed early. I go to bed around 8 to 10. So in between there. And I wake up around 7. So I'm getting like a solid like 10 hours of sleep a night. And I find that like a lot of sleep makes me feel really good. Like I know people are just like, oh, you only need like 7 to 8 or like whatever. But I like a lot of sleep. I feel like it benefits me and I feel less tired and I'm less likely to take naps. That's another thing. Don't take naps because this is what I have found. I'll be doing like school and then I'll be like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm just going to take a nap. And then I'll procrastinate. You don't want to take naps. Get enough sleep at night so that you can be awake all day and you can get all your work done. I know this from experience. I've done this for semesters. So, another thing. I'm bad at this. This should be like common knowledge. Eat healthy and drink a lot of water. Because if you're just eating sugar, I'm guilty of this. I am a sugar addict, like legitimately. And if you're just eating sugar, then you're gonna like have a sugar crash and that's gonna make you tired, that's gonna make you wanna take a nap, and then you're gonna be less productive. So if you eat healthy, you drink a lot of water, then you'll be like at your fullest potential to like get stuff done. This is the problem when you have an imbalance of chemicals causing your anxiety. I can do all of this and still be anxious. My brain is constantly looking for something to be anxious about. When I'm at college, my brain says this is most important. So this is what it focuses on being anxious about. And it was weird because I'm not usually anxious except about school. But when my semester ended last fall, when I was just like hanging out over winter break for like a month, I was anxious about like the weirdest things, like things that I should not be anxious about, and it's because my brain is looking for things to be anxious over, and since it didn't have school, it just thought of everything else that could possibly go wrong. So I'm not saying that like, okay, if I do all this, I won't be anxious. I'm just saying this helps me to not be anxious. All right, other things. I like to keep myself distracted because sometimes it's nice to kind of like take a break from like reality, you know? So what I like to do is I pick a hobby. Usually it's playing music or writing fan fiction, because I would say YouTube is a hobby, but YouTube doesn't really like take me out of reality. When I'm playing music, I have to focus on the lyrics, the chords, my strumming. Like, I don't have time to think about anything else making me anxious, so I kind of get a break from my anxiety when I'm like playing guitar, playing ukulele or whatever. Or if I'm typing fan fiction, I'm in the world that I have created in fan fiction. So I also get like a break from anxiety. So you need to find like a hobby, something that you enjoy, something that can like take you away from your anxious world. And that really helps, because sometimes it just feels like you're like drowning and there's like anxiety just like all around you, and you're just like in this little bubble, and it feels like you never get a break, because for me, I know I don't really ever get a break because it's just always there. So I like to give myself a fake break by playing music or typing fan fiction. So it's important to still like do the things that you like, because you will feel a lot better. I do, at least. And also sleep. Sleep makes me feel really good. Also, this is another thing. All of these little dots, this is all from stress. This is all from starting college again. I was thinking of putting on makeup before I film this video, because sometimes I do that just because it's like, I don't know, look nice to be on camera, but I wanted to show you guys that you can get stress acne, and that's just lovely. So make sure to also take care of your skin. I mean, sometimes you can't like prevent things like stress acne. Like sometimes it's just gonna happen, it's just gonna be there, like whatever. But make sure to take care of your skin. Your skin will thank you. And just make sure to not be in bed all the time. That is like the worst thing possible. When I was in 11th grade, and that was where like anxiety was like at its peak moment in my life, I was just in my room, in bed. Like, I would get home from school, immediately go to my bedroom, and stay there until I got up the next day. Or if it was the weekend, I would just stay in my room for like the whole weekend. I wouldn't want to do anything. I just wanted to be alone, or with my cat. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. You do not want to isolate yourself. You want to be around people. You want to do things. Doing things and accomplishing things makes you feel good, because it makes you feel like you have done something today. And when you don't like do anything and you just like kind of sit around and like, you know, do nothing, then when you're like going to bed, you're like, oh my gosh, I did nothing all day, I need to do this still. Like, it just like makes you feel guilty that you didn't do anything all day, and then it makes you more anxious because you're like, oh my gosh, I have all these things to do, and then you get like worse sleep. And then like, I know when I was in 11th grade, I could not sleep good at all just because I was so anxious. And what I did was I got some of this stuff. This helps you sleep if you can't sleep. I couldn't fall asleep easily, and I kept waking up in the middle of the night. So, if you are having any of these issues, I would recommend melatonin. And I don't take pills, so I have this lovely little liquid thingy. So, this is Sleep Soundly melatonin. And what it is it's like a little dropper thingy. And you just take like a few of these before you go to bed, like 30 minutes before you go to bed, so it can start working. And I have found that that works excellently with helping me like feel tired and helping me stay asleep through the whole night. The worst thing is when you don't like go into a deep sleep because you keep waking up and then you feel like you got no sleep the next day, and then you're just tired, and then you feel like you don't want to do anything, then you take naps, and then you get nothing done, and then your anxiety is 10 times worse. Like, sleep is important. I cannot stress that enough. That is, like, for me, one of the key things that I need to have right in order to, like, control my anxiety. I need to have a sleep schedule and sleep enough so I'm not tired, take no naps, like none of that, and to stay on task. So, I don't know, I think those are all of my tips and tricks for right now, just like my updated life and stuff, I guess. So yeah. And like, I know it's very tough being like a teen or a young adult, like right now. Like, I feel like this is some of like the busiest years of your life. Like, people are like going to school or going to college. They're doing like extra things besides school. Like, I take ukulele lessons, and I'm going to church meetings every Friday night to be on a church retreat weekend. Like, it's insane. Like, we just have things going on all the time, and it's hard to feel calm because you're just like, oh, I got this to do, oh, I got this to do, oh, I have to be here, oh, I have to finish this before I go here. Like, it's just very hard. So I get it, it's tough, but you can do it because I did it. Like, I was in such a bad place when I was in 11th grade, and I thought it would never get better, but I have come up with tips and tricks and things that work for me. You just need to find out what works for you, like what tips and tricks work for you, what doesn't work for you, and follow the things that work for you and stick to them, and it'll get better. And if worse comes to worse, this is what happened to me. Either go to a therapist or go on medication. I never wanted to go on medication. I was like against it. That was like the last thing on my list that I ever wanted to do. But I started off by going to a therapist, and since I have an imbalance of chemicals, like, I felt like a therapist couldn't really help me because like they can't figure out why I have anxiety because it's an imbalance of chemicals. There's nothing else causing it besides that. So it's different than like if you had like a past trauma or whatever that is like causing it. Like, they can find like the root of your problems if it's something like that. Hi, my phone just died. It didn't really die. It just like spazzed and my app crashed. So I'm back to finish my last thoughts. So I ended up going on medication, and it helped so much. And I kind of wish I had gone on it before, just because it helped so much. I feel like when you have an imbalance of chemicals, that type of anxiety, I feel like you can either deal with it or you can take medication to fix it. I feel like I feel like therapy won't really do much of anything. That's just my experience though. So like that's what I did. That's what I did for my anxiety. I take Lexapro, which is an antidepressant, but it also treats anxiety. So that's what I'm on currently, in case you are curious. And it helps a lot. It made me feel just like so much more relaxed and so much happier. I used to be like very unhappy just because I feel like if you have really bad anxiety, it can cause depression. And like, I did a video on this, anxiety-induced depression. It's a thing. So I feel like I'm just like way happier now. But I still have anxiety. Like, it's always gonna be here, like lurking around, you know? So I take medication, and I take magnesium, and I stay organized, and I get good sleep. I try to eat healthy and be healthy, but you know, you can only do so good. I don't like to eat healthy, I'm sorry, but like, I try my best. Oh, and exercise is another thing. I don't really do that because I am a college student who does online college, and like, I hate exercise and I have no motivation for it. But that's a good thing to do because it releases happy chemicals. So this video is all over the place. I am sorry, but this is my like updated tips and tricks. This whole video is like what's in my brain right now. Like, with anxiety, it just feels like a big like scribbled up mess. Like a million thoughts at the same time. Nothing really makes sense. Nothing's really in order. Like, it feels like if you took a filing cabinet and dumped everything out. That's like what my brain is when I'm like really, really anxious. So I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have like school to do, so many things. So I'm gonna go work on school, de-stress a little bit. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave me a big thumbs up. If you have any tips or tricks or anything that you thought would be helpful to tell me or any of the people watching this video, comment down below. And hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Turn on my post notifications, and I'll see you guys in my next video.